Yeah, we back. Now, I just want to ask, why do black men look up to the workers of society, the ball players, the rappers? How come black men never look up to the CEOs of the labels, the owners of the sports teams? How come we look up to LeBron James? How come we don't look up to the man that signs his checks? How come we look up to, 21 Savage and Kanye West, but we don't look up to Lucien Grange and Kevin Liles? How come we look up to the people who are on the bottom of the totem pole and we don't look up to the people sitting at the top of the pyramid? And the inspiration behind this video came because I was watching a live stream by the good brother Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. And, not wasting no time. I'm going to run the footage and I'll be right back.
So he brings up another thing about Tariq trying to say that sports proves that black people are superior. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because without white people to freaking give them a platform where people could actually see them do what they're doing, no one would even know who the hell Michael Jordan was. Nobody. Michael Jordan would be a Negro at the local basketball court in the hood snatching $20 bills off the top of the backboard. How does that make you superior when a white man can put you out in the field, figuratively speaking? You go play 82 games, 81 games in a season. He sits in a recliner, dog. He sits in a recliner while you run around the court sweating, hoping you don't slip on some sweat and injure something where you're not going to be able to play anymore. He sits in a recliner, smoking a cigar, drinking a cognac with a chick 1,000 times better than any chick you're ever gonna get, right? Probably getting a freaking BJ in the damn office of the damn skybox while you run around and he collects more money off of you, your image, your likeness, and your ability than you will ever make in your life. People talk about Michael Jordan being a billionaire. Dude, what the hell you think Jerry Buss was? Magic Johnson was rich and awesome at basketball. That man didn't never say he looked up to no basketball player. That man said, I looked up to the Buss family. Magic Johnson worshiped the Buss family. A family, mama, daddy, kid, son, daughter. That man with all that ability, he looked at himself as nothing compared to that, what? Family of unathletic, unattractive white folks who were making his wildest dreams come true.
Yeah, we back. Now, man, everything he said was absolute fact. Now, I don't know if it's because of the victim mentality that we have, but for some reason, we look up to those who are on the bottom of the economic hierarchy, right? We look up to the rappers who don't own no labels. We look up to the ball players who don't own no teams. Those are the people within our community that get the fame, the acclaim, and the notoriety, right? But when it comes to somebody like Kevin Liles, a very intelligent, educated, very accomplished black man in the music industry, y'all don't look up to him. Y'all look up to Lil Wayne. Y'all look up to Jay-Z. Y'all look up to Young Thug. Y'all don't look up to Coach K and P from Quality Control Records. Y'all don't look up to them. Y'all look up to the Migos. And shout out to the Migos, but at the end of the day, like I said, they're on the bottom of the hierarchy. They're on the bottom of the totem pole. They ain't cutting no checks. They ain't calling no shots. They're not even in control of when they can drop an album or not. Meanwhile, when Quality Control Records sold for $300 million last month, I did a video on that. Was it the Migos that got the money? No, it was the two black CEOs, Coach K and P. They're the ones that pocketed that money. But for some reason in our community, we look up to the workers. We look up to the people who have no power. And I think that translates to a collective situation where, as a community, collectively, we have no power because the people we look up to and we place on a pedestal, they also have no power on an individual level. So if you look up to people who have no power, then as a community, you're going to have no power. And don't come into my comment section and try to lecture me about capitalism. I already know, man. Y'all go, oh, capitalism, the evil capitalism. Listen, black men are the only ones that are going to blame the transatlantic slave trade on why they don't want to engage in business, or why they don't want to engage in commerce. Meanwhile, we are not the only group of men to have suffered under the yoke of enslavement, right? The Jewish men, according to their Bible, they were also in bondage, right? They talk about the Egyptians had them in bondage, but I never heard no Jewish man talk about, well, the Egyptians had us in bondage 4,500 years ago, so I'm not going to engage in commerce. I'm not going to engage in business. The Jewish men, they engage in the business 100 miles per hour. In fact, many of the high-profile celebrities that you look up to, they work for them. And the Jewish man is not letting the fact that the Egyptians allegedly had him in bondage thousands of years ago stop him from getting to the money today, from putting himself in a position of power today. And it's no surprise that damn near over 90% of black people in America work for another race, because we raise our children in a way that they believe that working for the big white company is a symbol of success, right? Working for the big white corporation, that's a sign of success. Working for another race of people, that's a sign of success. And then you want to turn around and blame capitalism and slavery for the reason that you raise your children to follow a path that leaves them in a position of powerlessness. You have no one to blame but yourself. And even in my own family, since I was in high school, I always said, man, I want to work for myself. I want to be a businessman. I want to be an entrepreneur. And even though my own father was an entrepreneur, he encouraged me to go the safe route. Nah, son, get your degree, get your safety net, get your degree, make sure you could, fall back on, a good job, you know what I mean? Even though he himself was an entrepreneur, but he was telling me to go the safe route, right? Stay in school, don't drop out of school, right? Don't jump into the world of business so early. Go the safe route, be safe, right? Meanwhile, I was 16, 17 years old talking about, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. I don't want to work for nobody. I don't want to work for no white man. I want to work for me. I want to be a CEO of my operation. And it wasn't until that I was able to generate money on my own that my parents finally seen the vision and let me do my thing. And I believe that's something that a lot of us go through. Our elders, they encourage us to remain in a position of subordination, right? Don't jump out and try to be CEO. Don't try to be a boss. Go the safe route. Get a job. Get a good, stable job. Working for somebody else. Working for another race. And that is also why many of the celebrities that we see, the ball players and the rappers, they're not operating in a level of power. They're not the CEO of the label, right? They're not the owner of the team, right? There's somebody playing on the team. They're the one signed to the label, bringing the album to the boardroom, trying to get the approval of the CEO. In summary, what am I trying to say? The reason why we are in the position that we are in, a large part, yes, there's historical context behind it, but a large part why we remain in the situation that we are in is because our mentality is backwards. Our mentality is not one that is geared for power. Our mentality is not one that is geared towards the accumulation and chasing of power. And instead of owning the corporation, we rather work for the corporation. Instead of owning the team, we want to play for the team. Instead of owning the label, we just want to be an artist signed to the label, putting albums out. And then to justify the fact that we have no economic and political power, we fall back on, well, it's white people's fault. It's white people's fault that we raise our children not to want to go out and dominate the landscape. That's not white people's fault. That's your fucking fault. But anyways, man, I'm not going to stay here too long, man. It's your boy Nefercard Desaline, back in the building. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. And I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass. And I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas. Falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Paying for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and get smack in their faces.